Hello, in this video we're going to go over the seasonal adjustments that should be done to Google Ads campaign. Given the fact that we just finished Christmas, I think it's a good time to go over it. First of all, what are seasonal adjustments? Adjustments on the campaigns. Well, as we know, campaigns not always behave the same during the year. There are peak seasons for every industry. They don't have to be the same. The usual ones are Christmas, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, but it could be very different depending on the industry. But pretty much every niche has their own seasonal times of the year, and campaigns should follow up with those seasonal, so they make up the most of it. So adjusting the campaigns, it's vital to do on set times to make sure that we get the most amount of conversions and make the most amount of reduce the CPAs usually or CPLs depending on the type of campaign that it's running, and just make up for more people searching or having more intent to actually get to know your business and finish up the conversions. In this case, there are two type of adjustments. The traditional ones that we could do all year round, it's device, location, type of audience, but seasonal adjustments usually are shorter time and have a higher impact. Well, as I mentioned, there are two types of seasonalities that one it's a bit more planned. That means every year it's the same. As I mentioned, Black Friday, Valentine's Day, summertime, back to school sales. They're always years are the same time, but there's also unpredictable ones such as viral trends. If there's some type of economic shift that get people to actually buy more of said product, or there's an unexpected event that actually increases the demand without any previous notice. How it affects, well, the main three KPIs that usually get more impacted with the seasonality, it's conversion rate, which usually increases during this peak. For example, on Christmas, toy stores see an increase on conversion rate because the intent is higher and people are more willing to buy. The other one is the CTR because since they're more active looking for it, they click more on the ad, so the CTR improves. And also a reduction in CPAs because well, it makes sense with an increase in conversion rate, the CPA decreases, so the campaigns are allowed to get more conversions with the same amount of money or even less. In this case, well, there's two ways of doing the seasonality adjustment on Google Ads. One, it's for the shorter time events, as I mentioned, the Black Friday, that it's just one day, or Cyber Monday, or doing it dynamically within Google Ads as well with the seasonality adjustment, where you determine a couple of days that you're going to do the adjustments, say how much you're willing to pay more budget because you're expected an increase in impressions, in clicks. So the bid strategy knows and automatically adjusts for you to get more conversions there. So the main key here is to identify the seasonal trend. It's to have data, see how the campaigns have performed in previous years, in previous month, just to be able to determine any patterns, any dates where you see that the demand increases. Another one is do market research. If, for example, if you don't have that much historic data or you just have 1 year of data and you want more, you do market research and industry reports with tools like SEMrush or let's say Google Trends and determine any peaks that you might see. And in based on that, adjust the campaigns accordingly. So as I mentioned, there's a few ways to do it. One way is to use the tool that Google Ads present with it, which is inside the bid strategies, advanced controls, and you determine how much you can increase or not the bidding on set days. This way gives more information to the bid strategy. However, I like to prefer to do it a bit more manually because you have a bit more control on the campaigns, how much you're paying for it, how much you can scale or not the campaigns. And now go over a case that we had this past December. First of all, Google Ads lets you do a forecast based on all the historic data that you have. And we did two scenarios for this client. One, was with a lower budget, in this case 22K, and based on the average conversion rate that we were getting, it was expected to get almost 700 conversions with a CPA of 32 euros. However, this was based on the forecasted conversion rate that takes into account the last 7 days of the conversion rate to forecast the next month. However, knowing that December was a very strong month for the client, that the conversion rate increases in almost 50%, or yeah, around 50% compared to November. Instead of using the forecasted conversion rate, which only takes into account the last 7 days, we took the historic rate that takes whatever month or whatever time frame you want from the past scenario and adjusted it to now. As you see, with the forecasted, we had a conversion rate of 8.4, but however, with the historic one, we have 12.11. Based on it, we took this forecast as the go-to or the baseline that we wanted to do, and here are the results that we actually got on December. As you will see, the CPA was pretty much similar to the forecast, and since we were getting very good conversions and more volume, actually we increased the budget even more, around 7K more than we had forecasted, but we also got more conversions for it. And as you will see here, the blue line are the clicks and the red one are the conversions. If you see how much it increases leading up to the 2023 of December, which is the peak, and later on it drops. So the idea is to keep increasing the budget based on the demand, because there are two things that could be limiting the campaigns when the seasonality increases. One is the budget, meaning that the previous budget that you had, it's not enough to cover all the new demand that the campaigns are getting. Pretty much that happens in the search campaigns, on the branded and generic ones. And also it's a bid strategy, because let's say on November you had a CPA or a target ROAS that it was lower. As it increases, you could be losing efficiency and either limiting the campaign or not making the most of it. So the idea is just to be adjusting the bid strategies and the budget to make up for the demand and increase in conversions. Also, something that it's really important, it's also as well, after the peak, as you will see this big drop, the campaigns will not be as profitable, for example, in the ROAS or the target CPA, because usually the target CPA increases and the ROAS decreases. So if we don't adjust back to, let's say, normal values or pre-seasonal values, the campaigns could be limited and you could be not getting as much impressions as you should. So the best practices is to plan ahead, to determine any key peaks of them in within the year and your market. Test the adjustments, see if you're scaling the campaigns, it's still being profitable. You can keep scaling, or if you need to just adjust the target CPA or target ROAS to make them more profitable as you scale. Also, align the creative with the actual seasonality. This is not just a copy of the ads, it can be also the images. The text in the landing page should always match the actual offer or seasonality, meaning that if it's Christmas and you're offering, let's say, an Christmas 20%, all the copy should be aligned in the text, in the creative, and in the landing page, so the user has a more experience and it's easier for them to convert. And also, one of the most important things, in my opinion, is to review and analyze how it performed. If the trend matched your expectation, the forecast that we had, and based on that, adjust for the next year, because here it's a bit of testing, so there's no one right option. So it's always important to analyze what worked, what it didn't, which times of the year are better to do it or not. Based on that, create your strategy.